What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Nerd Show. I'm back with more McFarlane DC Multiverse action figures, and this time we're doing just a thrown together wave of figures here. We've had these figures that we've kind of been sitting on for a little bit, trying to figure out where to throw them in with some other waves or something, but not really finding anything coming out too soon, so we're just going to do them all together here. So in this wave, we have the Teen Titans version of Cyborg, which looks very awesome in that very cartoonish look to him. I can't wait till we get more of the cartoon Teen Titans to go along with. I think that'd be so cool. And then we have Flashpoint Batman, which is Thomas Wayne instead of Bruce Wayne, and looks very awesome there, of course, with that iconic look of the Flashpoint Batman. And then over here we have the Walmart exclusive McFarlane Gold Label Collection Batman. So it's a Batman that McFarlane has made himself. It's just kind of like what he would want Batman to look like. That's what this figure is. So it's not really based off anything besides just Batman. It's just whatever McFarlane wanted to do. So we have three awesome looking figures here that I'm excited to check out, especially that Cyborg, and then the two Batmans look awesome as well. So I'm excited to check these figures out. Let me go ahead and get them open and we'll check them out together. And our first figure up here is the Teen Titans Cyborg, and so this looks awesome. This is a great looking figure. This is probably one of my most favorite McFarlane figures so far. I just think he looks awesome. So of course we have that cartoonish look, so he's not got the most proportionate body and everything. He's exaggerated, but the cartoon look just looks awesome. So Cyborg is half human, half cyborg, so he's got a lot of the cybernetic pieces, but you can still see some of his human face. So we have Victor's face up here going into the cyborg parts, some of his arms there, and then the rest of his body is all covered up with his outfit and the cybernetic parts. But what's really cool about this figure is the blue they did. So they have a white detail underneath, so it's like a white with a bunch of like details and stuff that's supposed to look like robotics and everything, but then they have the light blue over the top of it, so it's there on his head, up on his shoulders there, and then a little bit on his legs and everything. Of course has that red eye, and then the all white black bodysuit just looks so awesome. This is, like I said, it's just perfect looking character. I did a great job transitioning the cartoon into a figure. It just looks awesome. But for his movement, so his head there can twist all the way around, and he can just have a little bit of movement back and forth there. The shoulders have really great movements in these, just the way they're designed, but they can come up to 90 degrees and can rotate around. We have a little bit of a bicep twist right up in here, so right where it transitions to his actual arm, so we have a little bit of twist in there. Then we get a single elbow joint that doesn't have much movement at all. It's just a little bit back and forth, so not much movement, which kind of stings. And then the wrist can twist around and flex back and forth. We go to his ab crunch right up in here, so we have a little bit of crunch and crunch back and forth, but he can twist all the way around there as well. Then he does have another crunch right like at his waist part here, so you can have that additional little crunch. The hips come up a little bit, not very much, even if you try and force it, because they have like sort of like underwear piece there, so you can try and get it up there a little bit. He has a tiny thigh twist, not much at all, just a little twist back and forth there, but the legs do come out and can pretty much do the splits. We got a double knee joint here that can bend up that far in the back, so not too bad. And then the foot has the ball joint as well, so it can rock back and forth there like that. This one does have a little bit of twist side to side, just the way it's pegged into the foot like this way, so it allows that additional side to side movement. And then we also have the toe joint on the end that can move. And for Cyborg's accessory, we get one of his blast hands, so his hands can transition and kind of do all sorts of different things. So with this one, we got his blast hand, so if you look there, it looks like the top of his hand there, so you get that replacement part, and then it just turns into this big blaster, and it's shooting out this blue beam, which looks really cool. So I think it's a really neat design. So I'm going to try and get this on his hand. I tried to do it earlier and I could not get it on, so I'm just going to see if I can do anything to get it on. So there, I was able to get it onto his left hand. It was a little bit easier than the right. It's still not on fully, like there's still a big gap in there, but it was overall just a little bit easier to get it onto. So there it looks like the beam shooting out of his hand, and then of course with the movements you can get it to move back and forth and do whatever you want there. But I think that looks pretty awesome though, like if you can find a way to hide it so you don't see that joint in there. I think that looks so much cooler with the beam shooting out, and so that just looks awesome. And of course he comes with the McFarlane stand, so just a little round stand with the peg, so we can pop him on, so hopefully he stands up a little easier. And then we get the card for Cyborg, so there's a picture of him from the cartoon. So this is from the little bit older cartoon from like the early 2000s. So we got Cyborg from Teen Titans, and of course his blaster shooting out of the other hand, but I couldn't really get it on there. And around on the back we've got Cyborg. He's of course from Teen Titans, animation from 2003, so there we go, with the real name of Victor Stone, and he's 6'5", 385 pounds, again probably with all the cybernetics. But it says half robot, Victor Stone is a high-tech genius and valued member of Robin's Teen Titans team. Cyborg not only designs and engineers T-vehicles and excels at video games, he's also a great cook specializing in spaghetti and burgers. So there's a little bit more information for you there on Cyborg, and so that's pretty cool. So like I said, this is probably one of my favorite McFarlane figures so far. Just the way it looks and everything is so perfect for that cartoon. And like I said, I hope they eventually make more Teen Titans figures, because that would be awesome. And next up we have the Flashpoint Batman, which looks very awesome. Like I said, this is one of my favorite looking Batmans there is. And as I mentioned earlier, this is Thomas Wayne instead of Bruce Wayne. So it's pretty much got the same story as Batman, but instead of Bruce Wayne's parents being killed, the gunman killed Bruce Wayne instead. So Thomas Wayne pretty much turned into Batman and went out to avenge his son's death. And so this is how he looks, and it's awesome. So So I absolutely love it because of the red mixed in with it. So otherwise looks just like your normal Batman, but he has the red mixed in. So he has the bat logo on his chest with the red circle behind it and the red belt with the holsters and everything. That's just what makes him look awesome to me. But overall, it looks pretty cool. So he's got the short little horns on the cowl, of course, the nice red eyes that fit perfectly for this. And then he has the black cape, but I like how it has the little like points there on the shoulders. That looks awesome, and then goes down into the cape. He's got the all gray outfit like the Kevlar. Again, the red, as I mentioned out, the black gauntlets there that look very awesome with the spikes. And on his legs, got the black knee pads and black boots that go up to his shin. So overall, the figure just looks awesome. Like I said, I just love the look of the Flashpoint Batman, and like I said, the red I think is what makes me like him so much. So for his movements, his head can twist all the way around, and he can look down and look up. So not a whole lot of range in the neck, but you have some movement in there. The shoulders come up to 90 degrees and have a little bit of a butterfly joint there that allows some back and forth and can twist around, but of course with the cape it's in the way, so you can't go all the way around. We got the bicep twist, the double elbow joint that bends up that far, and the wrist that can twist around and flex back and forth. We have the ab crunch there, can crunch back and forth and twist all the way around. No real additional ab crunch for this one. Hips can come up there, and if you force it to get closer to 90, out to the side that far you can do. Splits a little bit there, again a tiny thigh twist. Double knee joint that bends up that far in the back, and the foot of course flexes back and forth on that ball joint and can twist all the way around. And then we get the toe joint at the end that's just going crazy. And so this Batman has some of the issues I have with the feet, just the way they're designed. I just have issues with the McFarlanes with like ball design stuff, is that his feet are hard to like get him to stand up. I keep having to constantly fight with him just to get him to stand up, to have like flat style feet. So they easily move back and forth, so you can adjust with that, but it's like the whole side to side movement, you don't get a whole lot of it. So it's kind of hard to get him to stand up sometimes. I have to just keep sitting here fighting with this. But with Flashpoint Batman here, he does use weapons, so he does come with guns. So he has some guns in his holster here. So he has some guns that we can go ahead and put into each of his hands. So they're on like normal Batman. Thomas Wayne Batman does actually use guns, so that looks awesome with the two guns in his hands fitting there for Batman. Just looks awesome. Of course, he comes with the stand as well, so that'll help get him to stand up. And finally, we have his little card here. So there's a picture of him from the Flashpoint comic. And if we go around here, it's from Batman number 22 from 2017. Thomas Wayne, 6'2", 210 pounds. And it says, in an attempt to alter the course of history, the Flash traveled back in time to save his mother's life. This, however, resulted in the crisis level event known as Flashpoint, rippling across time and changing the world as we knew it for the worst. In this alternative timeline, Thomas Wayne and Martha Wayne survived their deadly encounter in Crime Alley years ago, but their young son Bruce was killed instead. Driven by the death of his son, Thomas became the Batman, though his Dark Knight is far deadlier and more ruthless than the vigilant hero his son would have become. So there you go, pretty much exactly what I told you already. And so this is an awesome looking figure. Like I said, I wish it stood up a little bit easier, but of course putting on the little stand did help a lot, so he's not falling over nearly as much now. But I think that just looks awesome. That'd be just an awesome figure there to put up on the shelf. And then finally we have the Walmart exclusive gold label Batman that was created by Todd McFarlane. So this Batman, like I said, is not based off anything. It's just what Todd McFarlane would want to design a Batman like if he could. So overall, I think it looks pretty cool. I mean, it's not the perfect thing. I definitely like the Thomas Wayne Batman much more, but I still think he looks pretty awesome. You know, took like a bunch of like different Batman related stuff to me and just threw it all together. He's still mostly all the black and gray, so his cowl and cape are still all black as usual. Has the nice big ears up on top, nice black bat logo on his chest, gray suit as usual. But I like how he has on the belt, so he has a belt with all sorts of accessories and attachments, so you can see he has all sorts of pockets, maybe some magazines. Not sure if this one uses guns or not. Has some knives hanging down there in the front, but I like how he has the classic style bat logo, the black bat on the yellow background there for the belt buckle. I think that's what's awesome about this. Then on the gloves, he's got these big spike gloves there on the gauntlets. He even got some spikes there on the fist. Has some armor padding there on his thighs and another holster with all sorts more pockets, and has some grenades on it, so this one may use some guns. And then some weird black boots, but with the way his feet are designed, he actually stands up a lot easier. And then we have his cape in the back. I like how the cape part's like actually some folded up there and stuff, so you have more cape, but it's actually just folded in. And I like how it even has the holders included in here to hold the swords he came with. So overall, I think this isn't the worst thing ever. I don't think it's like a horrible looking Batman, but it is definitely just something different and alternative. But for his movements, though, his headgear can twist all the way around and can just do a little bit of nodding there. Shoulders come up 90 degrees and of course have that little bit of butterfly joint there, and of course can rotate around there. He's got the bicep twist, the double elbow joint that can bend up that far, and it's really hard to bend his arm just because the spikes all over the gauntlet, so it hurts quite a bit. But then his wrists can twist around and flex back and forth. He has ab crunch right in there, and he doesn't really crunch at all. It's just a little bit of shake back and forth, and then he can twist a little side to side, and then just a little tiny bit of movements right down in the waist area. Again, nothing much noticeable though. Hips do raise up a little bit. Again, if you kind of force them because they have the underwear piece, you get a little bit more, but not too much in there, and has that thigh twist in there, a little bit back and forth. It's got a bit of a stiff double knee joint here, but it can bend up in the back there that far. And then the foot on the ball once again can rock back and forth, twist all the way around in there, and then it has the toe joint on the end. But I guess one thing that makes this Batman cooler is that he comes with some accessories. So first off, we got like a night vision goggle thing here. So we got a weird design here, so it looks like, you know, a little scope piece there, and then I don't know if that's supposed to be broken or just some sort of weird design. So we have these goggle piece that you can take and actually get to fit onto his head. So you just sit on there and push it down, and it goes right onto his face. So I think it looks a little bit dorky, but it's not horrible. And then he also comes with these two swords, which look awesome in the gold paint, and they do match the little knives he has on his belt. But two cool looking swords there, and these can go into his back, so he has those holders there on the back, so you can slide them down into there and actually hold them, or we can go and just take and put them into his hands. So there, Batman looks badass with those two swords in his hands. So like I said, overall, it's not that bad of a figure. I just don't think it looks the best. Like, this would not be a Batman I would prefer. I definitely like the Thomas Wayne version the most, but yeah, this isn't my most favorite looking Batman. There's just something missing from him that I just don't like too much. But as usual, he comes with the stand, so we can go and pop on here. But this one doesn't have much issue standing at all, so I like that with however McFarlane designed it. It did make it easy to stand. And then we have his card here, so there's a picture that he went off or kind of based his design off of there, and it says there, of course, at the bottom, designed by Todd McFarlane, and around on the back there it says Todd McFarlane, original design from 2020, Bruce Wayne, 6'2", 210 pounds. And it says, in the 1980s, Todd McFarlane began drawing Batman professionally, working on the classic storyline Batman Year 2 in Detective Comics, and creating iconic artwork, including the dynamic cover for Batman number 423. Todd went on to become a titan of the comic book industry, but has always had an affinity for Batman, stating, "Batman has always been my favorite character. I've always liked the fact that Batman has no superpowers. When it comes down to it, he's just a dude in a costume. Conceivably, if Batman were in a huge battle in space without any of his gadgets and tech, he could potentially die, unlike Superman." So there's a little bit of explanation from McFarlane, you know, his love for Batman and why he wanted to design a Batman figure here. So overall, I think it's, like I said, not too bad, but like I said, overall, just look-wise, it's not my preferred version of Batman. So that's going to be it for my little thrown together wave of McFarlane DC Multiverse action figures with the Teen Titans Cyborg, the Flashpoint Batman, and the McFarlane Gold Label Batman. So all three are pretty good figures. The Cyborg is definitely my favorite, followed by the Flashpoint Batman. But let me know what your opinions were of these figures down in the comments down below, and have you picked these up for yourself. But if you enjoyed my review, please leave a thumbs up for me, and I want to thank you all for watching. I hope you stay awesome out there. If you want to see more, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in our next review.